Hi kids, I'm Yassmin Shaltout. I'm a senior at Wake Forest and I'm filming outside today in Winston-Salem. The weather's been super nice the past few days. Hopefully if you're in the area you've gotten to go outside, take advantage of that, get some sunlight. I hope that the background noises and the birds stay quiet for us, but just like last time we're going to cover a few STEM concepts and then we'll do a fun activity. So today's STEM idea is projectile motion and just motion in general and the forces that go along with that. And the activity will be paper straw rockets, and we're going to make one and practice launching it, observe some cool things that happen when we change the angles. But first, let's talk about a few of the STEM concepts. So I want to introduce a super awesome guy named Isaac Newton. He is a scientist, physicist, and a whole lot of other things, but his work in physics is what is important for this concept, which is his law of motion. So his law of motion basically states that an object will not move unless a force is enacted upon it. So for example, a ball won't move unless you throw it or kick it or enact some other sort of force that causes it to move. First, let's go over what force is. So force is the push or pull enacted on an object through its interaction with another object, the other object being the thing that is applying that force. So there are also different types of forces. There are contact forces and non-contact forces. So some non-contact forces include gravity, magnetic force, and electric force. So these are all things that occur naturally and are affecting our bodies and the objects around us without necessarily touching us. Now, contact forces are forces that are only enacted when objects do touch. So those include things like friction, tension, air resistance, and the spring force. Spring forces are in springs. Air resistance is the force that air enacts on an object that is moving in time and space. And tension is, if you think about a rope, you're pulling super hard at both ends. That force keeping the rope straight is the tension force. And then friction, you can think of the age-old example of rubbing your hands together really fast causes heat. That is because those two objects coming into contact with each other and moving quickly cause friction. There are specific forces that enact on a rocket to enable its movement, and those are gravity, lift, thrust, and drag. Gravity, like we said last time, is the force that pulls us to the center of the earth. And so that is the force that a rocket has to fight against in order to leave the center of the earth. And then lift is created by differences in air pressure. You can think of it as the air passing underneath the wings of an airplane almost, causing it a little bit of flotation in the air. And then thrust is the force produced by the engine of the rocket itself, thrusting it upward into the sky. And drag is sort of like friction, but with air. So that is if you're running, for example, you feel air resistance coming against you in the form of wind, but if you're an object propelling yourself through space, you feel air almost as something pulling you back. For our activity, the force propelling the rocket will be supplied by the air that we blow into a straw. So I'm going to show you an example here and then show you how to make your own. But this is the one that I have. It's just a little rocket that I drew on and decorated. This is what it looks like in the back. And then I just have a regular straw here that will fit into there. And then should launch like that. So to put one together, first you'll need some sort of paper, foam, cardstock, cardboard rocket. So these are ones that I cut out of some thicker sort of foam-like material, but you can cut yours out of paper or cardstock, cardboard, whatever you have lying around at home. And then, of course, because we like things to be pretty, markers, crayons, colored pencils, color it, decorate it however you want, write your name on it, or not if you don't want to. And then the important part is the launcher that you see in the back here. And how I made that is basically I've got a rectangle of construction paper and I rolled it up nice and thin, making sure that it's thick enough for a straw to fit through, but not leaving too much space, so just a little bit, just like that. And then grab some tape. And we want to just seal the top. So just on one end, we're gonna cover it like that. Try not to squish the paper because you want it to still maintain its circular shape. We can add some more to the sides just to make sure that it's all sealed there. You just cover it up just like that. And then we'll take our rocket, decorated already and done, and to the back of it we'll just tape it down there. Now when you tape it down, you want to make sure that you're not pressing down too hard because you want this to remain hollow. So we're just going to put the tape on it and nice and gentle tuck it into the sides. But we want to make sure that it's hollow all the way through so that our straw still fits. And then this is a straw that I cut out of a larger regular bendy straw. So we want the straight part, not the part that bends. And we'll want enough to cover the length of the shooter that we made, and then enough for you to be able to blow out of the other end. But not the whole thing, because then that requires for you to put in way too much force. So once your rocket is done, you can start experimenting with some of the angular motion that we were talking about. So projectile motion is motion that goes in an arc like this. So there's a peak point of height, and then there's also an end point where it lands on the ground. And like we said, that changes depending on the angle that you blow your rocket into. So if we try at a really large angle, you can see that the arc is pretty steep, and it kind of just goes straight up and right back down. But if we try at a smaller angle, it goes a little bit further. And these aren't super large. Your lungs can't produce that much force, so they don't go very far. But if you are using these inside the house, just make sure that you're not pointing it at people or at things that could break, just in case. And also, last thing, since we are putting our mouths at the end of this straw, make sure that it's nice and clean before you use it, and make sure that you try not to share with other people. So if little brother, big sister, mom, dad, grandma want to try your rocket, make sure that you get a new straw for them to use so that you're not passing around all of the germs, or now that you know how to make one, you can show them how to make one too, and you can all have your own rockets. That is it. Nice and easy. Hopefully you learned something that was fun. Hopefully you get to make one at home, and like always, I hope you stay safe and healthy and happy and have a lovely rest of your day.